Blonde, I feel like if they showed more optimistic, more happier moments
Yeah,
in Marilyn Monroe's life,
especially towards the
contrasting.
end.
Yeah, right.
Because like I feel like
Fuck.
I understand having depressing movies, but at least some depressing movies end with like some sort of. At least it's not okay. Here's the end of the movie. Time to go kill myself.
Like
You know,
actually,
like I genuinely felt empty and kind of
yeah,
hurt when this
Ye-
movie ended.
yeah,
Kind of just like, are they really gonna just end it like that? Like I don't really watch end credit scenes or wait for end credit scenes unless it's a superhero movie.
yeah,
But I kind of was like, let me see if there's a fucking end. This is on Netflix, by the way. So I scrolled to the
yeah.
end,
Scroll through.
and I was like, let me see if
Nothing.
there's an end credit scene because they can't end it like so down bad.
Yeah,
And they did, and I
but
was
they
just
did.
like, come on, man. Like I get it. It's based on somebody's life, and that person did not have a good life.
No.
Like, can't we put a happier spin on something? Like, for example, in this movie, they could have at least shed some light on how much of an impact and how respected she is
Yeah.
by modern audiences and all that kind of stuff, or like
Yeah.
how much like she changed Hollywood and whatnot, or like empowerment or something. Welcome back to the Real Talk Podcast.
Yes.
Yes, it's
Oh.
today's episode.
Oh my gosh.
Bro, too loud.
I'm
All
sorry.
right, who gave Nevis the fucking Coke earlier?
Hey.
Coca-Cola.
Yes.
Um,
I was my Coke addiction, my Diet Coke addiction.
okay,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
If this is your first time watching our channel, welcome back to the Real Talk Podcast. We like to talk about movies.
Yep.
If you like the video, smash that like button, comment down below, hit subscribe, check out our Instagram, our Patreon, and our TikTok. Without further ado, let's talk about
Blonde.
Blonde. It's
This
kind of hard
is-
to say. So I liked Atomic Blonde. It was really.
It was
good
action-packed.
It was an action. Good
Charlie
action
Theron
movie.
was great.
Yeah, that wasn't funny.
That wasn't funny at all.
Platinum Blonde is my favorite band. I'm not a noob.
So this is strike 3 on Josh's reusing jokes.
Yeah.
You're out.
Ha ha ha! Baseball.
Yeah, it was a baseball joke.
I can already feel myself sinking.
Right?
No, Blonde.
Blonde.
Starring Ana de Armas.
Ana de Armas as Marilyn Monroe. This is
Yeah.
the Marilyn Monroe biopic. This is based off of the book
yeah,
Blonde,
Thank you for
which I
clarifying that.
feel like we need to clarify.
Because a lot of people are criticizing the movie who didn't know that it was based on a book, which is the book is a fictionalized version of her
Yes.
biography.
It's a fictionalized biography.
So before people start watching this movie and start being like, oh, I didn't like how it wasn't historically accurate, it's like, bro, it was based on a book, and the book was specifically made to not be historically accurate.
Josh, I'd like to address something before we get into the story and the concept. This film is pretty graphic.
Yeah.
let's address that.
I was hoping we would. I mean, I came
Well,
onto a
it's the
film.
movie. You
I-
can't. That's like not
I
saying
know,
the
I-
F word in Wolf of Wall Street. It's like we kind of have to.
I know, but I came onto this podcast. Like, no, I was like thinking about the podcast earlier before I drove
Yeah.
over, and I was like, I really hope we don't go in too deep into this. And I'm like, fuck, I do a film review podcast. I gotta talk
We're
about this stuff.
literally reviewing the film.
All right, let's just try to, for my sake.
We'll try our best to.
'Cause I really don't like that material.
No.
But it was very
What
yeah.
did what I'm actually, you know what? You ask me first all the time about what I thought of a movie, but I'm going to ask you this time. What did you think of Blonde?
that was pretty good. I thought it was pretty solid, man.
Really?
No, I thought it was. Yeah. Thing is, I feel like I would have been more invested if I was more and more into Marilyn Monroe. Like I know
Okay.
of Marilyn Monroe and all that stuff, but I wasn't like. I don't think I've ever seen a Marilyn Monroe film.
Okay.
As much as that might be surprising to somebody that hosts a film podcast, I have not seen, what's it? Blondes are.
Gentlemen prefer blondes.
I
Some
haven't
like it
seen-
hot.
Yeah, I haven't seen those. I've heard of them.
Yes.
I obviously know of Marilyn Monroe and her impact on the film industry, but
Right.
to sit down and watch one of her movies, I never did.
Fair enough.
But Blonde, that was all right.
Yeah.
I thought it wasn't bad, in my opinion. There are worse things to watch.
Yes.
Why? Why are you leading? I feel like that was like a leading question.
This is what I mean with films, specifically biopic films like this, or at least they call it a biopic, is that Blonde is this weird movie that kind of, for me at least, I've never been so divided on a film like this before.
Really?
In terms of, there's moments in it where I absolutely adore it. The
Yeah.
way it's executed, it's so amazing. The way it's the shot, the music,
I
the
knew you'd like the
acting.
shooting because
Oh
it
my
was
God.
black and white, and I was like, this is right up
Occasionally,
Nevis' alley.
occasionally it was 4:3, black and white.
Yeah.
Um, but with every beautiful moment, there was always one moment where I was disgusted. I didn't want to watch it. I hated
Disgusted how so? Like you just from a filmmaking perspective or from a storytelling perspective?
a little bit of both.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm aware of the subject matter and what they're doing here,
Yeah.
and like it's fine to do that. But there are moments of a sense of amateurishness. I don't know if that's a word. I don't know if I'm just making that up.
You did. You definitely made up that word.
I
but
definitely
we'll just roll
did.
with it.
Yeah.
Amateurishness.
Amateurishness.
Extra.
But
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Yes. Moving
but
on.
with this film, it's like there's moments that that feel very cliched at times, like the whole oh well, you got to take the drugs, you got to take this and stuff. But then there's other moments where it's kind of like one of the creepiest moments in any film I've ever watched.
Yeah.
It's very creepy. It's very depressing, and it left me weird. I felt weird when this ended because I didn't really know how to feel.
Yeah.
I don't know if you felt the same way.
I kind of did
Yeah,
because, and the reason is because, wow, I just realized I was speaking very closely to the mic.
I was a bit loud
What?
too.
It's closer? Really? That sounds
Yeah.
weird to me. Anyways,
Yeah.
no, I kind of got this feeling as well. I don't know if you remember when we reviewed the last duel. Did you watch that yet?
I never got. I've been a little behind on this.
It's still a great movie and
Right.
everything, but the subject matter was definitely like I came out of it like ugh.
Yeah.
But yeah, this definitely ends off on a very not even melancholic note.
No, it's
just a depressing note.
Yeah.
Honestly. Like just fuck. This movie was just like ugh.
I guess I'm gonna try to say this as not graphic as possible. I'm gonna talk about the story briefly.
Okay.
Talk about
Yeah.
the general bits of it for the listeners. There will be spoilers in this movie.
Yes.
In this review. So the movie is essentially about Norma Jean, which is Marilyn Monroe's real name.
Yeah.
Um,
Which
you
I
know,
which I actually only learned about because of this movie.
because of the movie. Fun fact. It's just her life. The film starts out with her as a little girl up until when she dies, when she ODs.
Yeah.
And it chronicles her life as a model, her life with many gentlemen.
Yeah.
We can put it. It's like the two young men and the ex-athlete, the playwright.
Yep.
And just what she went through. And how do I describe this? Okay, think of every terrible thing that has happened to a person,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's in this film. Which, yeah, it's kind of a dark note, I know, but that's essentially what this film offers. And I think the best way to describe it is, in my opinion, this film is showing the darker side of Hollywood, the more depressing side of how.
Well, I mean, the thing is, a lot of movies and a lot of forms of media have done that, but this really
Right.
just really centers on it, and like, or at least it does this like it shows a dark side of Hollywood and the media business
Right.
in such a more graphic light.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, you've seen The Boys, right? Like
Yes.
yeah. So I mean,
That's a pretty solid example of
But I'd say that this is more graphic than
Way
some of
more.
the things in The Boys. Like I mean, yeah, The Boys.
Yeah.
Like spoilers for season 3. Season 3 just finished.
Yeah, season
yeah.
3 just finished.
Yeah, spoilers for season 3, but like, there's obviously graphic stuff where like guys are naked or like, people
Yeah.
are doing this stuff or like blood and whatnot. But I mean, like, specifically with like the hierarchy of like, this guy's your boss and therefore you have no power and yada yada.
Right.
The Boys will show that, but this movie really shows it in a lot more of it. I just feel like this movie is just so much more like
Disturbing.
disturbing about
Yep.
it. Yeah, that's the perfect word.
It's a very disturbing film, and the way it's executed too is those moments that happen are intertwined with music
Mhm.
from Marilyn Monroe's movies,
Yeah.
which is I think is very clever.
Mm-hmm.
I like how the contrast really shows like, yep, this is what happened. So whenever you watch a film like that, this is the behind the scenes. This is the sad reality of how this was done.
I'd say if you're a fan of Marilyn Monroe, don't watch this movie.
Yeah.
'Cause this is
yeah.
Because ignorance is bliss, honestly.
Yeah.
Like if I was a huge fan of Marilyn Monroe and I loved her movies and whatnot, and I saw this, like I probably wouldn't live the rest of my life the same way.
It's definitely something, and hence the reviews you were talking about. Oh, it's not that accurate or whatnot. Um,
Yeah, honestly, gave me some small semblance of solace knowing that some of this was fictionalized, but I know in my heart that
yeah.
it probably comes from like realism, and not only just from Marilyn Monroe, but just Hollywood in itself. And I don't want to get into that conversation because I don't
No.
think a comedic film podcast, film review podcast, should have any reason to discuss this ever. We don't have any like we're not fucking
No,
politi-
yeah.
like
We're not getting
we're
into
not
that.
intellectuals or anything
No.
like that, so we're not gonna even attempt to talk about that stuff in detail.
Totally fair. I'm with you on that boat. All I'm gonna say about it is whether or not the film, what they're trying to show, and the execution is done right, and we enjoyed it.
Yeah,
We're very open-minded with this sort of thing. We're
Yeah.
not. That's hence why, like,
except for
a
horror
lot.
films.
Oh, that's for you, man. There are exceptions. I try to be open-minded with every film, no
Yeah.
matter how dark, depressing, disturbing it might be, or however different the comedy and execution is. A good example is Do Revenge. We're not a fan of that comedy, but you know what? We took a chance, and I think same goes for a movie like Blonde, where Jesus Christ, man, what are you trying to do? You're moving the whole fucking couch. God damn it!
You know what? Like, Mook, just keep on with your point.
Just keep on with your points.
Just keep on keeping on.
You know what? I'm gonna talk about what I really loved about this film.
Okay. Because I honestly, I don't know. I feel like I didn't love a lot of things from this film, except for the obvious thing, which is obviously the performances were fantastic.
Anna de Armas,
Killed it.
fucking amazing.
Yeah.
One of my favorite performances.
Probably one of my favorite actresses right now.
Yes.
Yeah, and not just because she's fucking beautiful, but just like
No, she
because obviously
sounded
I have a
like-
Woman Crush Wednesday.
yeah. But with her performance, it's like because I've seen Some Like It Hot, Marilyn Monroe
Mhm.
film with Jack Lemmon and Tony Curtis. It's a great film, very funny.
Yeah,
And I've seen many of her other roles in other films, but Anna de Armas' performance, she really gives off that persona. And people are like, well, her accent still shows. It's like it's more than that. It's way more than that. If you actually look at the scenes where she's like talking to the ex-athlete about being lonely
Mhm.
in this world and stuff, or like when she's like crying like she wants to go home and stuff. Oh my god, I felt that. I fucking felt that, and it's so hard.
Gives me chills, or like makes
It's-
my heart drop, and you just
Yeah.
even just hearing you remind me about
There's
it.
so many scenes like that. I won't go into other scenes, obviously, but even those scenes, she does a really good job at, performing these very uncomfortable scenes. Like,
Yeah, and
it
just,
truly, like,
and conveying these emotions.
Yeah.
yeah,
and not a lot of actors would have the courage to do something like this. And it's
yeah, and
it's
especially in a movie where you're playing somebody like Marilyn Monroe.
Marilyn Monroe.
Like I don't know. It was fantastic. But I'm sorry, you wanted to go on about
My favorite
what else?
parts.
Yeah, what else? You liked about
I
it?
would say my favorite part about this film is the soundtrack.
Yeah.
I hope this gets nominated for an Oscar. I swear to God, it's one of the most beautiful soundtracks I've ever listened to. Which kind of sucks because when I went on Spotify to re-listen to it, a lot of these titles are very not subtle at all. And I was like, why is it just called that and stuff? Like I won't like some tracks are fine, like Pearl,
Sorry, you went on Spotify and you looked up the Blonde soundtrack.
Blonde soundtrack. If you want to check it out,
Yeah, I'll just see
You-
what you're talking about.
viewers, you get to see Josh's reaction to some of these titles. But I loved it. Oh my god, the opening of this film, where they show the infamous scene where Marilyn Monroe is shooting. I think it's called the 7-Year Inch, and the 7-Year Itch.
Yeah.
It's like the her skirt's flying up. It's all in slow motion, black and white, and the
Yeah.
music is just getting louder and louder, and the choir, and then it cuts to the title Blonde. I'm like, oh my god, it's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
I love that. I love the moments where there's like no dialogue. It's just music and visuals.
Yeah.
Her with the playwright, with her boyfriend or
Yeah.
fiance at the time,
Arthur
and
Miller.
Arthur Miller, exactly. Also, Adrian Brody, fucking amazing
Mhm.
as well. Everyone in this movie was fucking amazing. But like moments like that when they're at the beach together, and they're like having a good time, and I'm just like the music is like rising up and
Yeah.
such, and I'm like, oh my god, it's so.
I'm confused though. Like, what about this made you feel so?
Probably
eh?
track 5. I was
Okay,
like-
yeah, track 5 definitely. That was the only one that caught my eye. And I was like, oh,
Okay,
but-
well, let me tell you a story about that. I was just driving my car listening to the soundtrack because I was
Mhm.
like,
oh, and it has the heads-up display, right?
I'm like, what?
Oh,
What the fuck?
Oh no!
I skipped that shit, even though it's a good song.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know what I mean? Those are moments that I absolutely adore in this film. What I don't adore are specific plot points in this film.
Care to share?
I didn't really care about her as the kid, with her mom. That
Yeah.
shit was like fucking.
And that stuff is mostly fictionalized, right? Like she grew up in
Yes.
foster homes and stuff like that, didn't she? Or orphanages or something like that?
I don't
In
know.
real life?
I don't know too much about her personal life.
I did Google Marilyn Monroe earlier today, just to do a little bit of
Right.
research.
It's
going in.
definitely not like that though. I don't think there was a house fire moment, and then her mother tried. I don't know how much of that is true or how much of that is not, but judging by how it was all executed, it seemed very far fetched. But I wasn't a huge fan of that. I also wasn't a huge fan of like Marilyn Monroe with what was it, Charlie Chaplin Jr. and Edward G. Robinson Jr. That whole
Yeah.
like love thing. I was like, oh my fucking god! There's a moment when they're all like staring at the sky and stuff.
Yeah.
The music's beautiful.
Mhm.
I'll still defend that. But the scene itself and the dialogue, I just like rolled my eyes like, oh my god! Like some lines in it where it's just like, we're not those types of actors. We're actually these one. I'm like, what the fuck am I watching here? God damn it! Like,
Lovely.
I rolled my eyes eternally. Like just like. I don't know if you felt the same way about specific scenes in this film where you just kind of groaned at just like how it was done.
Yeah, I mean, like from a dialogue point of view, yeah, there was some scenes where it was just like, come on, am I really watching a movie that came out in 2022? Did somebody in Hollywood really write this? Did this
Yeah.
really make it past editors and nobody who saw that, nobody read that and was like, guys, that kind of sounds stupid.
That just sounds dumb.
Yeah.
There's like moments like that, and it's just like this movie could have been way better without all that dialogue.
Yeah, I mean, this is super off topic, but it kind of reminded me of like last night I was at my grandparents' house,
Right.
because we had a family reunion yesterday,
Oh, nice.
and my grandpa's watching this ZTV Indian soap opera,
Okay, nice.
and I'm sitting at the very back of the room having my tea.
Mm-hmm.
Grandpa's in the living room. My brothers are on the couch, so I'm sitting there with my cup of tea.
Right.
And there's a scene. Oh, it was so fucking stupid.
What?
And my younger brother looks over at me, and I was literally like, "Fucking this guy's, brings out an umbrella for the girl, and then she starts fighting him for the umbrella, and then she like falls back, and he catches her, and they're both just staring at each other in the eyes, like falling in love." And I'm just like, "Oh my god!" And this scene went on and on. I'm talking at least 30 Mississippis of them just like looking at each other while romantic licensed Bollywood music is playing in the
That's
background.
amazing.
And I'm like, what the fuck am I watching right now?
Oh my god.
And there were some scenes in this movie that were almost that bad. I mean,
yeah.
yeah, it was. I've seen worse, Nevis. I've seen worse.
I have too.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
But coming
though.
from a movie like this, where it's like what was the budget for this movie?
About 20 million. This film was really hard for them to actually get made.
Mm-hmm.
It's been like
Has
almost
it?
10 years. Yeah. The director talked about it. Saw an interview about that. And I think it's because of the subject matter, because a lot of film studios, when they read this script and they read specific parts, they're like, come on, we're not gonna film that.
Yeah.
What the fuck? And I think another part of why people are talking about this a lot is the infamous NC-17 rating, which
Yep.
I guess this kind of deserves.
Isn't that's higher than
R.
R, right?
R, yeah. So a little fun fact about
can see
the
that.
MPA ratings, not the MPAA anymore.
We're
because
learning with Nevis.
Little film knowledge. So first off, it's not called MPAA anymore because it's not Motion Pictures Association of America anymore. It's just Motion Pictures Association because
So
it's
it's-
more of a
So
worldwide.
it's MPA.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
It changed. That's what I'm explaining right now. The more you know.
Mm-hmm.
But not only that, but MPAA. So in Canada, the rating system starts off with G-rated films, which
Mhm.
are just for all ages. PG, just parental guidance, and ours is 14A, but it's translated to PG-13 in more U.S. standards, which is like
Really?
most action films, most Marvel films.
Yeah,
You get to say
PG-13.
fuck once, which is such a weird thing to think about.
Is it
It's-
really just once?
Yeah, and it's in context. So you can't say fuck in the context of sex.
Uh-huh.
You could say context of fuck you.
Yeah. Or
That's
like,
it.
no fucking
No
way.
fucking way. What the fuck was that?
Get the fuck out of my
Yeah,
way.
Yeah, exactly. And then goes right into rated R, which is restricted. There's scenes of perhaps nudity, coarse language, and
Graphic violence.
graphic
and
violence.
gore.
Yeah, exactly. And then NC-17 is just like strictly like you have to be, past 17 to watch this. No
Really?
parental guidance, no nothing like that.
I thought it was like you had to be 17 or up to see
Yeah.
R-rated movies.
No, well, R-rated, if you look at the way it's shown in different rating systems, you can have parental guidance if you're under 18.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the stupid thing about ratings that people should be aware of is that like depending on the film, you can watch something like Borat.
Yeah.
That's not a film for kids.
No.
Okay?
Rubber man, fucking Borat right here.
Hey! you.
Rubber fist in my anus.
Oh my god, man.
It's the best line of the movie.
Fuck you, man. I love this.
No joke.
Very nice.
Later I will take interview with genuine chocolate man. No joke. Oh my. I hope people refer to me like that from now on. Do it. Look right into the camera. Do it. Say the things. Come on, Bart.
Fuck off.
Very
What is
nice.
it? Very nice. I'm mad.
Oh my-
You know what? I go mustache for one fucking episode.
Dude, I was so confused when this guy opened the door for me.
No. You know what? I'm standing my ground. Fuck all y'all.
This guy, I did ring the doorbell. I'm waiting. I'm like, I'm gonna say something stupid when he opens the door. He opens the door. I'm speechless. I was like, "Hey, Navis, how you doing, buddy?
Oh yeah.
Everything okay?" So moving back onto the MPA ratings. Very nice.
Very nice. MPAA. What the fuck was I talking about?
So yeah, I always thought that. Like, okay, so what is R rating then? Like, what does that mean? Because I remember
It's just restricted. So, for example, people who are under the age of 17,
it's 17, right?
well, it's like if you're under 17, you need parental guidance. NC-17 doesn't matter if you have parental guidance. You have to be 17 or older to
Yeah.
watch the film.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then what's above NC-17? Like fucking like porn,
X. It's just X-rated.
like porn stuff, right?
Yeah, it's like just porn stuff.
Gotcha.
Yeah. What?
Hey, I'm learning.
Oh my god.
Stop laughing at me. I'm genuinely. There's somebody
Josh-
that's watching this video and
Right.
it's thankful I asked that.
Yeah.
So fuck both. So, you know?
Josh says porn, and then Christian's like,
He said a bad word.
Oh my
He said
God.
something nutty.
"Ooh, that's when they got naked." Ooh.
Oh my god. Let's stop. Can we, guys.
I'm
guys,
just saying, Okay,
Guys, back to the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, but
This
I actually
film-
am curious about the R rating though because I remember I wanted to watch Logan like back
Right.
and I was 16.
Yes.
So technically speaking, I would not have been allowed to go into the theater without my dad and watch
Yes.
Logan.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I got in.
Okay. That's what I mean. This rating system doesn't really make much sense anymore. It's kind of like, especially in the internet age.
True. Have any of you guys ever worked at a movie theater by any chance?
No, but
No?
I knew some people who.
Because I'm curious about like whether they're like part of their onboarding is like you gotta like check ID if the movie's rated R. If you see that they're going to see an R-rated movie, you gotta check ID. you
Yeah,
know?
but especially in this day and age where it's like you pay for a ticket online, like where's the there's gonna be some hassle within that. So I could be like, if I was 15 and I wanted to watch something like, I don't know, Bullet Train was rated R, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
there's
I buy it on
F-bombs.
online. I just use my info, my credit card info, and then I get the ticket. I'm like, all right, I have my ticket.
Well, no, that's what I mean. Like when
Yeah.
you have to go show your ticket to the man before he can let you into like where the
Yeah,
theaters
but
are.
most people just scan that shit. And I was like, all right, door on your left.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm curious about because I've always wondered that ever since I tried to watch Logan since like fucking 2017 because I was 16 at that point and I was 16. I barely carried a wallet with me and the only thing I had in my wallet was a Presto card and my student ID.
Right.
That's all I had. So it's like if I was 16 and I went to see Logan and I bought my ticket online and yada yada. When I go scan that ticket and buddy scans it and sees Logan rated R, is there anything that like do their managers tell them like, hey, okay, if you see it's R rated and the guy doesn't look like he's 18, like when you're trying to buy something like liquor, and if they think
Yeah.
if they think you're not 19, they'll ask the CID.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was always just curious about that, but I
Yeah.
guess
I feel like liquor buying alcohol is way more strict than a movie ticket because it's like, oh, I mean, you put so much work into just actually, watching the movie, paying for it. It's
I
like,
wonder if there's a guy
okay.
in this world that bought a fake ID, not to buy liquor, not to buy naughty stuff, to go watch R-rated movies. 'cause
Hell
he's
yeah.
16. I need a little fake ID. Why? I want to watch Logan.
wanna watch Logan. Did you think that this film deserved the NC-17 rating?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think like because of just the mature scenes. Like,
Yeah.
I forgot which movie we talked about this on the podcast. Like, I think it was The Last Duel, where I was just like,
Mhm.
I don't think kids should watch this movie because I think you need to be of a certain mindset, be mature enough to,
Right.
understand the gravity of certain scenarios and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So for that reason, I think it was justified. You know,
Yeah. That's fair.
what do you think so?
I definitely think so.
Okay.
There's moments in this film where I was just like, oh, fuck, they really did that.
Oh my!
Like,
Don't describe it like that.
well, I'm just surprised when it happened. What? What?
They really did that.
What?
I know what scenes you're talking about. Come on, man.
What?
What do the viewers think? Did this movie deserve the NC-17 rating? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, let us know.
Viewer
But
engagement.
I don't know. Like, it's the crazy thing is, I'll compare it to another biopic film which I enjoyed more was Elvis.
Yeah.
Felt like Elvis was way more. Both are biopics that did something way different in execution.
Mhm.
Let's admit that.
Yeah.
However, one I feel was more optimistic than the other one with its character. And with Marilyn Monroe, the one thing I would say is I would have loved this way more if they showed the gooder the good side. I was
gooder
I was
side.
gonna shut the fuck.
The gooder side.
I
English,
I get
s-
Borat. I'm illiterate. I get it. Like I'm fucking stupid.
You look more with that mustache. You look more fresh off the boat than I do.
Oh yeah. You know, fresh cut. You
What's
gotta-
that?
Hello, my,
Don't
hello,
know.
my friend.
No, that
Yes.
joke died back 2 seasons ago.
Yeah, it did. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, with Blonde, I feel like if they showed more optimistic, more happier moments
yeah.
in Marilyn Monroe's life,
Especially towards
contrasting.
the end.
Yeah, right.
Because, like, I feel like
Fuck.
I understand having depressing movies, but at least some depressing movies end with, like, some sort of, at least it's not, okay, here's the end of the movie, time to go kill myself.
Like
you know?
actually,
Like, I genuinely felt empty and kind
Yeah.
of hurt when this
Ye-
movie ended.
yeah.
Kind of just like, are they really going to just end it like that? Like, I don't really watch end credit scenes or wait for end credit scenes unless it's a superhero movie.
Yeah.
But I kind of was like, let me see if there's a fucking end. This is on Netflix, by the way. So I scrolled to the end.
Scroll through.
And I was like, let me see
Nothing.
if there's an end credit scene because they can't end it like so down bad.
Yeah.
And they did. And I
But
was
they
just
did.
like, come on, man. Like, I get it. It's based on somebody's life, and that person did not have a good life.
No.
But can't we put a happier spin on something? Like, for example, in this movie, they could have at least shed some light on how much of an impact and how respected she is
Yeah.
by modern audiences and all that kind of stuff. Or like
Yeah.
how much like she changed Hollywood and whatnot, or like, empowerment or something. I feel like that
The
could have
only
led-
the only somewhat optimistic thing I remember from that end was when she dies and then her spirit is like
meets with her dad welcomes her. and-
Yeah.
Yeah. That was
that was
that was beautifully
it
melancholic.
was beautifully melancholic. The music was done right, the visuals, but it was so quick and then it just goes into black and the stars.
Yeah.
And
I
there's
don't
a-
know. It's kind of funny. The best part about the most optimistic part about this movie was when she fucking died.
When she died,
Chad Neves over here.
Chad Nevis. It's watch this with the family. Yeah,
N-
watch this for the family. It's great for the kids.
The Real Talk podcast is not responsible for any traumas that are.
There's like white text, like
Yeah.
the Real Talk podcast, not responsible for anything that we say. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but
What are your final thoughts? And then we can.
it was a.
yeah.
I don't know, Nevis. I don't even know if I want to recommend this movie. And I think it's a good movie because, like, I don't know. I don't even know.
Right?
I'm actually speechless right now.
Aren't you divisive too?
Yeah,
I feel.
I am, and I feel more
bumping
divisive.
yeah,
I feel more divisive now after talking to you about it. Because again, as you know, we don't talk about these movies before we film.
Right.
So I did not have any preparation for this, and yeah, you're just making me feel more and more divisive. I mean, from a filmmaking standpoint, I'd say watch it.
Yeah.
Let's just watch it.
Watch it.
Come
you
to
know
your
what?
own, come to your own
Come to
understanding.
your, but be aware of
How graphic it is.
How
be,
graphic it
be
is.
mentally prepared for it.
mentally
you know,
prepared and
'cause I wasn't,
yeah, it's probably the most divisive film we've both seen this
and
year.
that we've talked about on this podcast.
Yeah.
So, with all that being said, we hope you guys enjoyed our review of Monroe. No, it's not called
Blonde.
Monroe. Of Blonde. Shit.
God.
We hope you enjoyed our review of Blonde. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment down below, subscribe to the channel. Sorry. Leave a like, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, check out our Instagram, check out our TikTok, and if you want to support our channel, check out our Patreon. With all that being said, peace out, y'all.
Peace out.